What's up, guys? Right place here. I haven't made a video in a while. It's been a month, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about something that doesn't really exist anymore, and I have built out of Lego. Yeah, that thing that stole all of my tan parts. Sears. So, in today's video, we're going to be talking about the story of how Sears started and how it became the biggest company in the world for 40 or at least 50 to 40 years. Okay, so I have the Wikipedia website on here, so I'm just gonna read it. Okay, so let's recap for a second. In today's video, we're going to be talking about one of the biggest companies that was the biggest company in the world for 40 years, Sears. And Sears was really big, and yeah, let me just read. Okay, so Sears, Roebuck and Co., commonly known as Sears, as I just called it, and it's pronounced how I say it, because right here you can't really see the screen, but it says Seerz. That's how you're supposed to say it, not how you spell it. You spell it like Sears. I'm gonna probably put in the thumbnail after this recording. Okay, so Sears is an American chain of department stores founded in 1892. I thought it was founded in the 1870s, but okay. By Richard Warren Sears and Alva Curtis Roebuck. Also, side note, I got new glasses, and you can't really tell, but these are what my old glasses looked like. Yeah, they were trash. There's a bunch of scratches and stuff. This is a Polo Ralph, and yeah, it's just trash. Just like Sears. Okay, that's enough. But these new glasses are rubber, and this is it kind of fades into black like this on the arm. You can't really tell the difference, but when you put these on, there's clearly a difference. Okay, now back on track. It was basically founded in 1892 by Richard Warren Sears and Alva Curtis Roebuck. And it was reincorporated in 1906, and it just became, yeah. Now, the history. Let's start with the beginning. Richard Warren Sears was born in 1863. God, he's as old as Henry Ford. Except Henry Ford was born in Michigan, and he was born in Stewartsville, Minnesota, to a wealthy family which moved to nearby Spring Valley in 1879. His father died shortly after losing the family fortune in a there's going to be a lot of words I can't pronounce, like this one. Speculative. Yeah, speculative. I'm just called that. Stock deal. Sears moved across the state to work as a railroad station agent in North Redwood, then Minneapolis. While he was in North Redwood, a jeweler refused delivery on a shipment of watches. Sears purchased them and told him at a low price to the station agents. Yeah, I'm gonna move this so I don't constantly look here instead of at the camera. Okay, where was I? Alright, sorry for that pause. Okay, while he was in North Redwood, a jeweler refused delivery on a shipment of watches. Sears purchased them and told him at a low price to the station agents, making a profit. He started a mail-order watch business in Minneapolis in 1886, calling it the R.W. Sears Watch Company. That year, he met Alva Curtis Roebuck. Remember, they became became friends and stuff. And because back then, here's a recap from the intro, it was known as Sears, Roebuck & Co. because they were business partners. And yeah, it was just like a whole friendship kind of thing. Okay. And that year he met Alva Curtis Roebuck, or we're just going to call him Mr. Roebuck for now, a watch repairman in 1887. Sears and Roebuck relocated the business to Chicago, and the company published Richard Sears' first mail-order catalog, offering watches, diamonds, and jewelry. Wow. So that's what basically started the whole thing. It's his catalog. Sears back then was known for its Christmas catalog. It also had many rivals like J.C. Penney, I believe Macy's, but I can't check right now because I'm reading this. But there was also A&P, which I don't know much about. Also, this reminds me, maybe next video I could probably make a video on Kmart, which started in 1889 in Detroit, which is that way. Okay. Alright. In 1889, Sears sold his business for $100,000. Yeah, I think I said that correctly. And if we were in 2021, which you're not, that was 4 years ago. Wow. If you're in 2021, $1,000 in 1889 will be $3 million. I can't even process that. That's a lie. The only thing I can't process is quadrillion dollars. Okay. He relocated to Iowa. I don't know why I couldn't pronounce that. Planning to be a rural banker. I have trouble saying that word, and I don't know why. He returned to Chicago in 1892 and established a new mail-order firm, again selling watches and jewelry, with Roebuck as his business partner, operating as the A.C. Roebuck & Watch Company. On September 16th, 1893, they renamed the company Sears, Roebuck & Co., and that's how it stayed for I don't know how long. I guess they changed their name to only Sears in the 60s. Cause another thing is that was built in October of 1964. But my Lego version was built in 2024. So that means that building is about 50 to 60 years old. And it's a bit down the road from where I'm right now. Alright. Just going down a little bit. And then he began to diversify the product lines offered in their catalogs. Before the Sears catalog, farmers near small rural towns, basically what's a rural town? Yeah, I can name a few, but you're probably not gonna know any, cause let me just say one: Pinckney, Michigan. Not really known for much. I just know it because it was on the historical train line that was torn down, except for an 8-mile portion of the line, which was bought and ran this train on it. Enough about that. So, okay. Wow. Sears is bigger than I thought. Huh. Move my cursor. Alright. Before the Sears catalog, farmers near rural towns usually purchased supplies, often at high prices and on credit, from local general stores with narrow selections of goods. Prices were negotiated and relied on the storekeeper's estimate of a customer credit worthiness. Oh, worthiness. Yeah. Sears bought an opposite business model by offering their catalogs at a larger selection of products at published prices. By 1894, the Sears catalog had grown to 322 pages. Wow. Including many new items such as sewing machines, bicycles, sporting goods, and automobiles. Later produced from 1905 to 1915 by Lincoln, which is now owned by Ford. And Lincoln, fun fact, do y'all know what's it called? The car company named Cadillac? It was founded by this guy named Henry Leland, and he was the same founder for Lincoln, which was then bought by Ford, and Cadillac was bought by GM, which operates Chevrolet, GMC, Buick, just not really that known for stuff. They also had Pontiac and Chrysler had Plymouth. I was about to say. Okay. Whoa, I heard something. Okay. And these cars were later produced from 1905 to 1915 by Lincoln, Lincoln Motor Car Works of Chicago, which has no relation to the current Ford line. What? Oh, okay. By 1895, the company was producing a 532-page catalog. Jeez, I can't even. Wow. Sales were over $400,000. Yeah. And that would be $12 million 4 years ago. Yet again, 4 years ago, because. Whoa. I was looking at the picture that I'm probably going to show in a minute. Okay. Okay, where was I? Here we are. In 1893, over $750,000, which would be $20 million 4 years ago, yet again, 2 years later. By 1896, this was around the same time that, yet again, Henry Ford started making cars, because his first car was called the quadricycle. Quad meaning 4, because it had 4 wheels instead of like 3, because the very first car had 3, and that car company is now known as Mercedes-Benz. Yes, the G-Wagon car company. Alright. By 1896, dolls, stoves, like play dolls that 6-year-old girls play with, and groceries were added to the catalog. Okay. Despite the strong and growing sales, the national panic of 1893. Oh, it's kind of like the Great Depression. Except the Great Depression was more greater. Why is it even called the Great Depression? It's not even great. It's just bad. Because all the stock market just crashed down. And it wouldn't crash down until 2008. Which yet again brought this thing down. Enough about the train, dude. Alright. How do you even pronounce it? Okay. Led to a full-scale economic depression, causing a cash squeeze and large quantities of unsold merchandise by 1895. Mr. Roebuck decided to quit, turning later into a publicity role. Sears offered Roebuck's half of the company to Chicago businessman named Aaron Nussbaum. I think that's how you say it. It's Nusbaum. Nussbaum. This is how I say it. I don't know if that's how y'all say it, but I don't know if that's how you guys say it. I don't know why I said y'all like that. But I'm from Michigan, and people from Michigan have we have this accent, kinda. If you've ever heard Dan, then he kinda has it, cause we pronounce our R's kinda deepish, but kinda longer, like R, kinda like a pirate. Thing is because we're near Canada, which is that way. Okay. Alright, back on Sears, because I keep getting sidetracked. And he sold half of the company to Aaron Nussbaum, who in turn bought in his brother-in-law, Julius Rosenwald. I swear to God, I've heard that name before. But I don't know. To whom Sears owed money. In August, yeah, I'm gonna move this camera. Yeah, that was weird. Alright. Where were we? Oh, yeah. In August of 1895, they bought Robux, half of the company, for $75,000, which is $2.8 million in 2021. Because they haven't updated this in 4 years. But how long is this actually? I think I might make a part 2, because this is long. Jeez. Yeah, that is long. Okay. In August 1895, they bought, and that month the company was reincorporated in Illinois, which is, with a capital stock of $150,000. Yeah, I'm done with this 2021 thing. The transaction was handled by Albert Henry Loeb. That's how you say his name. Is Loeb. Loeb. That's how I say it. Again, the Michigan accent. Of Chicago law firm Loeb and Adler, which is now Arnstein and Leher. It's Lehr now for some reason. Copies of the transaction are still displayed on the firm walls. Okay. Now we're getting into the early 20th century, so basically the 1900s, not the 2000s. The 2000s will be the 21st century. I learned that 3 months ago, or last year, I think. Okay. Sears and Rosenwald got along well with each other, and not with Nussbaum. They bought his interest in the firm for $1.3 million. It's on my finger. Okay. And they bought his interest in the firm for $1.3 million in 1903. And this was the same year that Ford made his actual company, which is actually now 122 years old now. Rosenwald bought the mail order firm, a rational management philosophy, and diversified product lines. Dry goods, consumer durables, drugs, like medicine, not alcohol and stuff. Like we don't talk about getting under the influence and stuff on this channel. Hardware like wood, lumber, and stuff like metal. Stuff that like basically builds houses and cars and stuff. Furniture, like the thing I'm sitting on right now. A bed. And nearly anything else a farm household could desire. Sales continued to proliferate. Sorry. Yet again, some of these words I can't pronounce because, yeah. And the prosperity of the company and their vision for more significant expansion led Sears and Rosenwald to take the company public in 1906 with the stock placement of $40 million. Wow, that's gonna be in the billions today. They had to incorporate a new company to bring the operation public. Sears and Wald established Sears Roebuck and Company with the legal name Sears Roebuck and Co. In the state of New York, which effectively replaced the original company, the current company inherits history of the old company, celebrating the original 1892 incorporation rather than the 1906 revision to start of the company. Sears' successful 1906 IPO marks the first initial major retail IPO in American financial history, and represented a coming of age. My voice is just good. My voice is just getting dry the more and more I talk about this beast of a company. Okay. Okay. Sorry for that long pause. Financially of the consumer sector. The company traded over the ticker symbol S and was a component of the Dow Jones Industrial Average from 1924 to 1999. Wow. Is American stock thing. What if I set my camera on my Chromebook? Like this. Oh, that could work. I'll just like really pimple. There's this pimple here that like really hurts. It's supposed to be like right there. It's not that one, so here. I need a water. Is that better? Yeah, it is. Oh yeah. In 1906, Sears opened its catalog plant with the Sears Merchandise Building Tower in Chicago's West Side. The building was the anchor of what would become the massive 40-acre Sears Roebuck and Company complex of offices, laboratories, and mail order operations at Holman Avenue and Arthington Street. The complex served as the corporate headquarters until 1973, when Sears Tower was completed, and served as the base of the mail-order catalog business until 1995. So you're telling me that the Sears Tower, which is now known as the Willis Tower, was basically is basically as old as the Twin Towers, if you didn't know, which was finished in 1973. By 1907, under Rosenwald's leadership as a vice president and treasurer, where am I? I'm gonna have to move that a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be good for a while. By 1907, under Rosenwald's leadership as vice president and treasurer, initial sales of the company climbed to roughly $50 million. Sears resigned from the presidency in 1908 due to declining health. Ooh, okay. So basically, Mr. Sears, just like stopped being a presidency because he was having health problems. With Rosenwald named president and chairman of the board and taking full control. In 1910, Sears acquired the David Bradley Plow Company. This acquisition would lead to the manufacturing of riding mowers, chainsaws, tillers, etc. in the Bradley, Illinois factory. The company was badly hurt during 1919 through 1921 as a severe depression hit in the nation's farms after farmers had overexpanded their holdings. To bail out the company, Rosenwald pledged $21 million of his personal wealth in 1921. By 1922, Sears had regained financial stability. Boom years. What? What is boom years? So yeah, I'm just gonna skip part of this because it's already 28 minutes long. Okay, I'm just gonna skip to the 1970s. Sears reached its pinnacle in the 1970s. In 1974, Sears completed its 110-story Sears Tower in Chicago, which is now known as the Willis Tower, and it's still standing to this day, I believe, which became the world's tallest building, a title which took from the former Twin Towers in New York upon moving out of Chicago. Rest in peace, Twin Towers. And I'm giving my condolences to the people who died in 9/11. I'm very sorry for everybody's loss who lost some of their loved ones in the 9/11 terrorist attacks. And I really don't know why you guys keep making fun of that stuff, because it's not really cool, but some of the jokes are kind of funny, but not completely, because it is a tragedy at the end of the day, and I don't make fun of tragedies. Okay. Sears sold the Sears Tower in 1988. And in the sale contract of the tower, Sears regained its naming rights to the building until 2003, when the Sears Tower was retained the name until early 2009, when London when the London-based insurer Willis Group Holdings Limited was giving the buildings naming rights to encourage them to occupy the building. Sears moved to the new Prairie Stone Business Park in Hoffman Estates, Illinois, between 1993 and 1995. The Sears Center Arena, now renamed to Now Arena in 2020, is a 10,001 seat multi-purpose arena located in Hoffman Estates, adjacent of the former Prairie Stone campus. Yeah, I'm gonna skip the mail order. Now we're gonna move on to the decline of Sears and why people from the new generations like Gen Alpha, Gen Z, and Gen Beta don't really know about how big Sears was a company back in between the 20s, I believe, or the 40s and the 80s. Because the reason why Sears was on decline is because Amazon didn't exist yet, and the reason why Sears was losing popularity was because of the new store chain Walmart, which was now gaining popularity for its low prices, I believe. I mean, I've been to Walmart, but I just don't really see it. Okay. My train keeps falling over.